Plaintiff Tamzil Smith says her daughter dated the defendant, and they have a 3-year-old together. Tamzil claims the defendant is lazy and irresponsible, and he doesn't pay child support. Tamzil's suing her daughter's ex for an unpaid loan. Defendant Chris Clyde insists he is responsible and is up to date on his child support payments. Chris also claims he's a good father who buys presents for his daughter and visits her as often as he can. And he insists the money from Tamzil was a gift.
Start with you.
I first met Chris approximately 5 years ago. I since realized that he's lazy and he's irresponsible.
You sensed it right away.
I now know.
Oh, okay.
I now know
like you said
that he's lazy and he's irresponsible.
Okay. Does he work?
Chris has trouble holding on to a job since I've known him. He's probably had 10 jobs.
In 5 years?
Yes, he will either quit a job before he gets fired, or he will get fired from a job because Chris knows a lot. Or so he likes to tell his employers, that he knows a lot.
More than them.
Yes, and the irresponsible part is that he fathered a child with my daughter.
He wasn't lazy that night.
He had plenty of energy, didn't he?
Yeah.
How long ago?
Oh, she's 3 now.
Okay.
1 week before she turned 1 year, he left for Las Vegas to work at yet another job. I do believe he had about 4 jobs in the time that he was in Las Vegas.
How long was that?
I'm going to guess 6 months.
Maybe he went up the ladder fast.
Well, he thought so. So then after that, he decided to move to Reno, Nevada to be with his mother. And I remember telling Chris a week before his daughter's birthday, this is not a decision you're going to look back on your life with and say, oh, that was a really good move on my part. He doesn't pay child support.
I would go. I'm waiting to hear that part.
Court ordered to pay $30 a month because he doesn't ever have a job, and he doesn't pay.
What court? What court allowed him $30 a month?
Iowa.
A lot of people want to move there now. Sir, you give me some background.
I did work. I held a job down for 2.5 years. I worked for a foundry in John Deere, and I didn't miss one day of work when I was working there, and I had insurance. And
John Deere? That's a good job. What happened?
I got laid off and was unable to get my job back.
Why?
They had replaced my job with a mechanical robot.
Chris did not get laid off.
You want to step up? State your name.
Tennille Smith.
What did you want to tell me?
He heard of upcoming layoffs, and he decided
He said, lay me off.
He heard that there were layoffs.
I know you're not going to tell me that, man. He heard there were layoffs coming up.
He heard there were layoffs coming, so he decided he was going to be proactive and leave the company and go work for a different manufacturer before he could get laid off.
Did he?
He did.
Well, that might have been a smart move.
He worked there for a couple months, and he ended up getting fired.
For what?
Evidently, he knew more than the foreman that had been there for 20-some years.
Okay. All right. All right, you can continue, but that first move sounded like a good move so far.
I couldn't stay at John Deere. I still believe they laid me off, and at that point I tried to recover. I tried to find the next soonest job that I could. That opportunity happened to be in Las Vegas. I moved back to Las Vegas.
She said you had 4 jobs in Las Vegas and
I had 2.
Okay.
And after the second job that I'd gone through, I went back up to see my mom. She needed some medical attention, some home care.
All right, in the middle of all this quitting jobs and stuff, how about your child support?
I kept up to date with it. There was times that I would come a little short on it, but it's up to date at this point, and I kept making sure that I paid it.
Yeah, I guess it is if you only ordered to pay $30 a month. Is that how much you pay? $30 a month?
30 a month.
Even when you were working?
Even when I was working. It is even there when I wasn't working.
So why didn't you volunteer to pay more?
My jobs have been a bit unsteady, and...
Oh, we just said, when you were working.
I made sure that I bought presents for her, clothing that she would need, and I tried to visit her as much as I could. I do live a long ways away from her, so travel is a very hard time.
Oh, that's understandable. I'm talking about the care for the child. You know, I hear that a lot of times. I live in another state, and okay, if you work a small job, then perhaps it is difficult. All right. Anything else on your background before we get to the loan?
At one point in time, I was paying all the bills. I'd gone out and got the house. And
when did you all live together? You're saying you and...
Myself and Tennille,
the witness?
daughter.
From what years did you all live together?
2014 and 2015. Just about a year.
Well, those dates are wrong. Those dates are wrong.
All right, but I mean, I paid all the bills. You sounded like you were suggesting that it was a long time. You wanted to say something else, ma'am? Come on up. Yes.
He bought the house in 2013, March of 2013, and he
Purchased a house?
Yes, and it had been a foreclosure. It had been abandoned. It needed a lot of work, and he moved me into this house because
You was woman, right?
Right, and then found out our daughter was on the way in August 2013, and we lived there from basically April of 2013 to March of 2013.
Okay, but he sounds industrious. Buy, rehab, fix it up. So did he fix it up? Did he work on it personally?
He did. We all did.
Well, he's not lazy, ma'am. The man worked.
Yes, he is. I went out and raked his yard one time, and he didn't even come out to help me. When she was pregnant, he wouldn't even shovel the walks so she could get to the car.
I beg to differ.
Did she rake the grass all by herself while you looked out the window, sir?
She came and helped with my yard, but I was working some long shifts, and a lot of the
She
time,
said you were looking out the window.
I was tired. I was in my room asleep.
Got it. You just made your point.
And child support he is not.
And I filed for child support after I found out he had gotten married.
Yeah, he went out to Reno, Nevada, and then put on Facebook that he had this wedding, very elaborate wedding on Facebook.
And so...
So you're sawing a deadbeat if what they're saying is true. You giving a big wedding? Who paid for it?
Family chipped in. We had a lot of family
Tell them chip in on child support. Let me hear from you on the loan, on this loan, ma'am.
Okay. I loaned Chris $2,000 on April 4th of 2015 for a roof. I've watched your
Yes,
show
sir,
enough to
please.
know to get a signature.
That's right.
We both signed it. And then I also have a list of the payments that Chris made. He made me $200 since 2013.
You got more than the baby.
It came due. I did. It came due in 2017. I thought he was going to spend his life with my daughter, so I was trying to be nice. Chris had to put a steel roof on the house. He couldn't do just asphalt shingles because he has to have the best of everything.
It's called Ghetto Fabulous. Buy what he wants and begs for what he needs. Yeah. Go ahead.
My daughter, every time she would talk to Chris, and she could attest to this, that he would say, "Oh yeah, I still owe your mom that money. I still owe your mom that money," but I never got it. And I did charge him interest on it just because, and it was a little bit of interest just because, I don't know, my daddy always said nobody gets anything for nothing, so.
I'm gonna let you speak, but you do have a little ghetto fabulous in you, sir. I'm looking at that Gucci you have on over there. You want to respond to that? Let's start there.
I do, Your Honor.
You gave a lavish wedding. What about this roof?
This house, I wanted it to be sound. I wanted her daughter to live with me, with our daughter, our new baby.
All right, you all were all living together at that point.
We were all living together at that point.
All right, got it. Ma'am,
going to
that's
work.
not a problem. She's making you look a lot worse than you really are.
Trying to do the best I knew how.
Yeah, I'm saying, no, why is she trying to make you look so bad?
Maybe she has it out for me. I have no idea.
Because of that 30 a month. All right, what do you say to these loans, sir?
In my defense, Your Honor, I worked at that foundry for John Deere. I was paying almost all the bills on my own, and I was asking her daughter to at least cook for me and help me upkeep the house while I was working 12, 10-hour shifts, something like that.
Was she working?
Long hours. She wasn't working. I'd ask her to stay at the house with me, free of charge, just help me cook and clean a little bit of my clothes so that I can go to work. And at one point, there was an email sent to me by Miss Smith, and I don't have it anymore. And it said that she was proud of me.
Plaintiff, Miss Smith. Uh-huh.
Yeah. That she was proud of me for helping taking care of her daughter, and I told her daughter Tennille that she could live at my house as long as she needed to raise our child and get a good start.
Good.
So
After you left to go to Vegas.
I would decide to pay for
But he
everything.
left her with the house, he's saying.
It was
I would decide
not
to
a
pay
nice
for everything
house.
and keep everything good for my daughter as long as I could.
Sir, you speak so well and sound so intelligent and smart. I'm just surprised that with all that, all you can afford is $30 a month. I'm not gonna let you off the hook on that 30, Doc. In the 1800, you say she waived it or forgave the debt?
She forgave the debt. At one point, she had mailed me and told me that she was so happy that with all the care that I was giving her daughter, she would consider it a gift for everything that I was paying for and doing for her daughter.
And you have no such evidence?
I do not.
All right.
That's just a lie.
She brings her evidence, and therefore I'm going to grant her judgment. $1,800 is your judgment.
Thank you.
Good luck to you.
I wish Chris a happy life. I'm glad I got my money because maybe I can use some of it for his daughter.
I wish Tammy would respect the fact that I've been trying. I mean, I didn't get there on time with the money, but, you know, I don't think I owed it anyways. It was supposed to be a gift. I don't ever take gifts back.
You're not a bad guy. It's just you have these delusions of grandeur that with other people's money.